Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. We're excited for today's video, really excited for today's video. So it's Weldwerks and it's a Medianoche, which would be exciting enough, but the fact that they distributed and randomly my area got some and I was able to score one is even more amazing. And it was aged in Pappy Van Winkle barrels. It's incredible. Like, this whole thing is just, I can't believe I scored it. I can't believe I'm about to drink it. This is nuts. So they call it Old Rip Medianoche, like Rip Van Winkle. Barrel aged Imperial Stout, 12.5% ABV. Actually, I'll give my thoughts and then I'll do the what's written on the side, because I don't know if there are tasting notes. So try to go in as blind as possible. Well, so having had, not this one specifically, oh my goodness, but knowing the viscosity of what I'm in for, that's why I'm laughing, because that is motor oil. And I love having a beer like this because I think sometimes when I'm doing beer reviews, especially if it's a stout, and I'm like, there's some brown in it, it's like, am I just like getting too specific and just say it's black? But then you have a beer like this and it's just like, no, this is motor oil, this is black. Like, you're justified saying the other ones have some brown in it. I mean, barely. I can't even say barely any head. I mean, no head, just a little bit sticking to the side of glass. Very intense, glass color changing legs, not much lacing, not surprising given the lack of head and the viscosity of this. So like, it makes sense. I mean, look at that. It's crazy. All right, that's what it looks like. It looks exactly how I thought it was going to look, but I'm really curious about the aroma. That is so chocolate, decadent, fudgy. A little bit of dried fruit fighting through, like raisins. Caramel, caramelized sugar notes for sure. Back to the chocolate. And it's interesting because you get this, again, like decadent chocolate fudge, like chocolate ganache, but then there's a little bit of just cacao powder kind of chocolate also there. So like, man, not maple syrup, but there's like a sweet syrupy element, kiss of the vanilla. Some of the spirit. I'm not getting a lot of oak specifically, but I do get some like spirit in there. So like, it's not the most, when I say the most barrel forward, I mean quite literally an oak barrel only, but it does have some of that distilled spirit part of it. But man, that chocolate, sorry, I got like a little ring in my ear all of a sudden. That's weird. Wow, that smells fantastic. Let's get into the taste. Cheers. Oh man, that's decadent, like in the best possible way. And I screwed up so Scott has been nice enough to share some Weldwerks with me, and shout out to Scott. I'm sure you're watching. I know for a fact you're watching this, unless you're waiting to score one. But anyway, at some point I know you're watching this. Anyway, where was I going with this? I knew that this. Oh yeah. So one time he sent one. It wasn't Medianoche, but it was Weldwerks. And I was like thinking the ABV would be higher because how bold the flavors are, the viscosity of it. I'm like, this has to translate to a higher ABV. And the same thing is happening here. If I was doing this blind, I'd be like, it's probably like pushing 16, 17%. So the fact that like it's 12.5 and it has so much flavor is gnarly. Tons of chocolate. Glad I spent the time on the aroma on the chocolate because it was there, and then it's also in the taste. What it did not get in the aroma is there is some nice like espresso coffee roast in there, which provides some balance to the sweetness. That's also obviously in the beer, well, chocolate, and I keep using this word decadent notes. It's got that viscosity I knew it would, and so it totally delivers on that, which is awesome. It's funny, I don't know if it's because I tasted it or what, but now when I smell it, I do get some oak specifically, a little bit of coconut, which I know, speaking of Scott, is something that like he and I really like, you know, in a beer like this. And almost a cinnamon stick kind of a thing as well. So a little bit different things I'm smelling, which is cool for whatever reason. But let's get back on the taste. So like the aroma, I'm initially getting spirit more so than just oak, what an oak barrel on its own would kick out. So yeah, I like how the spirit's coming through. It's there. It's there, and it's also interwoven. Like it's kind of like making its declaration, like, "Hey, I'm here. Like, experience me solely," right? But it's also interwoven with the rest of the experience, which is really nice. Part of that chocolate too is almost like a Tootsie Roll chocolate. It's incredible how many different kinds of chocolate tastes this is kicking out. It's like nuts. Definitely some of the dried fruit thing as well. And yeah, like, it's not just the viscosity, but I'm sure it's the process that is giving it this viscosity that's also making it syrup tasting, but not maple specifically. Yeah, so let me read the side of the glass. I love that there was a little bit of a drip, and because of how thick this beer was, or is, and all that time of me talking, it could only get here. Good residual sugar, not over where I want it, but yeah, good level. All right, so Old Rip Medianoche features some of the most sought after casks we have ever procured for our barrel program. Old Rip Van Winkle. Let's see, after resting our flagship barrel-aged Imperial Stout Medianoche for nearly 18 months in freshly emptied ORVW, so Old Rip Van Winkle. 10-year bourbon barrels, so they're the 10-year barrels specifically. Okay, there are tasting notes, so I was right. Okay, so yeah, because I didn't want to have any influence. Notes of honey-soaked pecans. Honey, that is... I'm not saying there's not a nutty quality, but like that's not the main thing for me, so that's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. Before that, it says espresso notes. Well, yeah, so we agree on that 100%. The honey, I wonder if their honey soaked is my, like, it's not maple syrup, but there's something kind of like syrupy, maybe. But yeah, it's not, I get the nutty thing, but not enough that I haven't thought like that were processed, but in hindsight, fair enough. Freshly split Madagascar vanilla beans. Yeah, I do get some vanilla. I think I got it more in the aroma than the taste. Whatever crème, let's say cream pâtissière. It looks very French, and I took Spanish. P-A-T-I-S-S-I-E-R-E. Some sort of cream thing, sure, since I don't know what that is. Dark chocolate, yeah. Oh, cinnamon! Well, it's saying cinnamon butter. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. There's not a comma there. Dark chocolate cinnamon butter. Okay. And just a hint of dried sweet cherries. My mind goes to raisins, but dried, craisins instead of raisins, fair enough. So I would say, except for the pecans, and my mind goes more the raisins than the craisins, our tasting notes line up pretty darn well, the brewery and myself. All right, that's cool. Man, this beer is phenomenal. Just also, if I haven't officially stated that. That's really nice. That's just, yeah, that's really nice. Man, and yeah, that espresso note, chocolate covered coffee bean kind of a thing. I really like that. Yeah, this is obviously a sipper. I'm going to continue enjoying it and sipping it for the rest of the evening. Let's see, have you guys had this beer before? Have you had anything else from Weldwerks? Have you had a stout that seemed like this viscous? Are you sick of me saying viscosity and viscous? You want to talk about something else? Anything, everything? Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.